All right, let's jump right into this explainer. Today, we're tracking a massive, honestly mind-bending convergence. We're looking at how back-to-back, compounding breakthroughs in AI, energy, and hardware are literally colliding to reshape human economics. We're talking about moving from an era of scarcity to one of unprecedented abundance. Things are moving at breakneck speed right now, and we've got a front-row seat to the whole shebang.
Now, before we get into the weeds, we need to frame this with a word you probably don't hear every day: pronoia. It's basically the exact opposite of paranoia. It's the steadfast belief that things are actually going to work out. The sources we're digging into today push back pretty hard against all that prevailing AI doomerism you see on your feed. So, instead of fixating on apocalyptic, end-of-the-world scenarios, we're going to rigorously look at the data pointing toward a remarkably bright, tech-driven future.
So here is our roadmap for today's explainer. We'll be hitting 5 key areas. Number 1, the race for AGI. Number 2, AI agents as consumers. 3, powering the future. 4, democratizing health and labor. And finally, number 5, the post-labor economy. Let's get to it.
Section 1. The race for AGI and the massive sprint happening at the Frontier Labs.
Right now, we are watching a fiercely competitive two-horse race unfold. Anthropic's new model, Opus 4.8, has completely reclaimed the coding crown. It jumped right over OpenAI's GPT 5.5 on the notoriously difficult SWE Bench Pro hard coding benchmark. We're talking a score of 69.2 compared to OpenAI's 58.6. Think about that. We are in this wild phase where these massive, industry-shaking updates are dropping every 4 to 6 weeks. They're just constantly leapfrogging each other.
And this rapid, relentless acceleration? Well, it's heavily impacting expert timelines. Google DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis just significantly tightened his timeline for AGI. He is now aligning completely with futurist Ray Kurzweil's famous 2029 prediction. Hassabis actually proposed this fascinating Einstein test to prove when AGI truly arrives. The idea is, you take an AI trained exclusively on data up to the year 1901, and you see if it can independently derive the theory of special relativity. I mean, think about what that implies. The leaders of top labs are publicly signaling we've only got a few years left to prepare for a system capable of entirely novel scientific discovery.
Moving on to Section 2, AI agents as consumers, or the dawn of the agentic economy. We are rapidly entering a world where AI agents, not you and me, will be the primary consumers in retail. And because of that, a massive infrastructure battle is brewing. On one side of the ring, you've got Amazon with a vertical, closed ecosystem strategy. They are actively embedding conversational AI shopping assistants straight into their marketplace. And get this, it's reportedly converting shoppers at 3.5 times the rate of a traditional keyword search. That's huge. But on the flip side, we have Google playing a horizontal strategy. They're building open protocols, basically a universal language, that allows any third-party AI agent to interact with any merchant online and just make autonomous purchases. So this is a massive battle over who will own the underlying infrastructure when your personal AI starts running all your errands.
All right, Section 3, powering the future, focusing on energy and infrastructure. To sustain all this artificial intelligence, you need a ton of power. And we just hit a massive global milestone. For the very first time ever, wind and solar power combined have surpassed natural gas in global electricity generation. They hit 22% compared to gas sitting at 20%. This perfectly illustrates this exponential growth curve in renewable energy that just continues to absolutely defy all the conservative predictions. I mean, when you realize that global solar capacity has historically doubled roughly every 22 months, it becomes pretty clear that the abundant, cheap energy we need to power tomorrow's AI data centers is well on its way. But, it's not just about the energy grid. It's about the physical hardware, the chips themselves. Case in point, the US government and IBM are dropping a cool $2 billion on a brand new quantum chip foundry up in Albany, New York. This facility is being designed to manufacture quantum devices 30 times faster than current methods. They are basically trying to become the TSMC of quantum computing. It's a massive, multi-billion-dollar strategic bet to make absolutely sure that as AI accelerates quantum computing, our physical manufacturing base is firmly bolted to the floor. Up next, Section 4, democratizing health and labor, and how this tech is democratizing our reality. Okay, $5. $5. That is the actual cost of a breakthrough optical cancer detector developed by researchers at Westlake University in China. Using these highly advanced metamaterials, this little handheld device can spot early-stage lung tumors with nearly 95% accuracy using just a single drop of blood. Literally one drop. This right here, this is the very definition of abundance. We are taking what used to be a heavily guarded, multi-million-dollar lab process and making it accessible to billions of people for the price of a fancy cup of coffee. It's just incredible.
Now, at the same exact time, we are seeing intense, paradigm-shifting movement in physical labor through robotics. Investor Mark Andreessen is issuing a pretty stark warning here, arguing for the immediate need to build what he calls a defensible AI robotics stack. He is directly pointing to massive global supply chain vulnerabilities, specifically noting that China has this colossal, state-backed push right now featuring over 150 different humanoid robotics companies. The big takeaway? The race to automate physical labor out in the real world is every bit as aggressive as the race to build AGI in the cloud.
And we're seeing governments finally starting to react to these massive labor shifts. California just issued a first-of-its-kind executive order to spin up a real-time AI workforce dashboard. So instead of waiting for some dusty year-end report to tell us what happened to all the jobs, this dashboard acts as an early warning system. It's designed to actually measure AI-related job impacts exactly as the shifts occur. It is an unprecedented step of the government stepping in to act as a real-time sensor for economic disruption.
And that brings us to Section 5, the post-labor economy, and the societal restructuring we're going to need to handle it. Try to wrap your head around this staggering number. Following its recent restructuring, the OpenAI Foundation's estimated valuation is sitting somewhere between $130 and $260 billion. Let that sink in. That makes it the single largest philanthropic war chest in the entire world. It's significantly larger than the Gates Foundation. We are looking at a scenario where private AI labs are amassing levels of wealth that rival the GDPs of entire nations. And they are actively deploying that capital to figure out what on earth comes next. The OpenAI Foundation just issued a massive $250 million grant specifically focused on economic futures. They're pouring money directly into research for things like public wealth funds, brand new worker ownership models, and AI dividends. They are actively trying to design, from the ground up, the new societal structures required to transition humanity smoothly into an economy where human labor just isn't the primary driver of value anymore.
So what does that actually look like? Well, one of the leading ideas gaining serious traction is something called Universal Basic Compute, or UBC. Now, rather than a traditional centralized system where a government just hands out money, think of this more like digital homesteading. It's a slightly more libertarian-leaning model. The core idea is that providing every single citizen with direct access to foundational AI computing power empowers individuals to build their own wealth and their own solutions right from the ground up. It's effectively giving everyone their own plot of digital land in this brand new economy.
Which naturally leaves us with this final provocative thought. As intelligence, energy, and physical labor become exponentially cheaper and endlessly abundant, how should society equitably allocate these limitless resources? The simple fact is, the technology is accelerating way faster than our current economic models can handle. As we've explored throughout this explainer, the puzzle pieces for an era of incredible abundance are already falling into place. But the greatest challenge of our time might not actually be building the technology itself. No, the real challenge will be deciding what kind of world we want to build with it. So think about that as you consider your own role in the coming years. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and as always, keep learning.